Alright, so Marvel Rivals Namor, very interesting character. He's been one of the characters that I kind of lean on if we're struggling with dive comps or we're talking Star-Lord, Spider-Man, BP. Anyone that can really get into your backline easily, he kind of just directly counters them. I am, in fact, GM3. I've been playing Namor, I've been playing Punisher, and a couple of other DPS the most. So I do have the credentials to back up what I'm saying. But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna first go over his basic kit. Namor is a left click, basic spear throw. To the body doesn't do much damage. However, a lot of people don't understand when you're playing Namor, you want to always be aiming for the head. You can 2-tab any 250 squishy. I believe it also 2-tabs Punisher, correct me if I'm wrong. But it completely can... Yeah, like compared to the body, it's not even close. So you don't want to be aiming at the body, you want to be aiming at the head constantly. As redundant as that sounds. Shift ability. You go into the air, raise you can hover with it. You can go down, you can go up, and you can shift to cancel early again. So this ability I like to use, honestly. You just like in times of like when you know you're about to die. You don't use it usually to get high ground, or you don't use it for random things. Use it specifically when you're about to die. If you do want to use it to get high ground, usually it's pre-round, like before it starts, before, you know, opposing team tries to attack you guys. But other from that, you're only really saving this when you're getting dove. That way your octopus can just deal with whoever's diving you, and then hopefully you can get healed while you're in the air. This ability does not have HP, so you can use this and get hit as many times as you want, I believe, up to a certain point where you'll just burst out of the bubble. The most important ability of Namor's kit, these octopus right here. So listen, that's what they do. It's kind of simple, but people don't know how to use these octopus, and that's why most people don't know how to play Namor. The reason why is because they're placing him in the front. Alright, when you're placing them in the front, people are going to look at them first, and people are going to destroy them first. And the whole problem is, this whole kit relies on these guys right here. If you don't have these up, you're not having as much impact as you can really have as Namor. So, normally where you're placing your octopus, the thing that you mainly want to do is just guide people away from your team. Is it more annoying to have to shoot an octopus that's right next to them? Or is it more annoying to have to be looking at one and then look over here while you're getting shot from over here? It's going to be way more annoying to deal with this guy. So you're not going to be placing them right in front of you. You're going to be placing them off to the side, up on some sort of high ground. Every so often you'll see someone place them right in front just because it's a really huge team fight, you know, and they're the moment. But realistically, you want to be placing them where people are going to have to look away from you in order to destroy them. They do have a time limit. I'm not exactly sure how long it is, but after they haven't been shooting for a certain amount of time, they will disappear. The biggest part of this kit, as to go along with the octopus, is his right click. So a lot of people don't know his right click on its own isn't that great. I mean, it's okay. It does a little bit more damage to the body than a left click does. Doesn't even have a headshot ping, so you can't even headshot with it. However, the reason you use your spear is not just to use it like that, which it isn't a little bit of an AoE, so you will be throwing it into groups of people. The main reason you use this, let's say you have 2 octopus out here. Very simple. They shoot a heavy round first, and then they go and they speed up their attacks heavily. And you want to be marking squishies mainly with these. That way, they just shred them. If you're looking at a tank and it's already targeting a tank, you can just throw it there. Usually, I like to throw my right click at people who are diving me. So if I have a VP on my back line, like, he's just gonna get shredded, and you don't have to look around constantly trying to find where he's at. These guys will just automatically target him for you, which is why he counter dives a lot of people, because of their hitboxes. They're just hard to hit on your own, but these guys will just take care of it. His ult is pretty interesting, and the reason why I say that is because it's not that effective in some sense, but it is effective if you can pull it off correctly. His ult is not something that you would solo someone with. It's not something that you would use on one person, of course. Essentially what it does is it has 2 layers of use. You can see an inner circle and you can see an outer circle. The main problem is that people just throw this and they just go, oh, let me throw it like that. Hopefully it'll hit someone. He barely took any damage. Alright, his healers are gonna heal that in like 2 seconds. He's probably a couple headshots away still from being killed. However, what people don't know is that the center of this ability, look how much more damage it does. Completely, that's double. So essentially you're not really aiming for one person. You're aiming for as many people as you can get inside of this little circle. Of course it still helps because of the AoE effect that it has with the disruption. It'll knock people over and whatnot, but the main use that you're going to be using for that is definitely to disrupt team fights. Anyone who's caught in that center, if they're squishy, they will die. So that's huge. You get 1 or 2 picks with this ult, and that completely changes the fight in and of itself. But yeah, I think the reason that people play Namor wrong is simply because they're not utilizing his octopuses correctly. If you're looking at it this way, I mean, it's just a completely different game. You want to be able to place these wherever they're not looking. So if you're in the back line, you have people over here, I'm going to be placing them like, okay, let's say I'm playing on this. And we have people shooting at me from over here. Boom. Because now they have to look somewhere other than me. Let's say I have a Punisher. Punisher is only one target capability, meaning he can only shoot at one thing at once. He's going to be looking at this guy. He's going to be looking at this guy. And at that point, I've already thrown 3 or 4 spears at him. And that's just to kill these. And I'm already going to have them back by the time he kills both. I'm going to right click him anyways. That as well. Immediately where you hit is where they will shoot. So usually it's locked on, but if it doesn't hit, it'll AoE toward wherever your spear hit. And yeah, his left click doesn't have ammo, so it's infinite. The main point of the game when you're playing Namor is simply to use these to make your opponents look away from you. If you need to use this to get away, people do that as well when they're about to die. And look, when you have high ground playing Namor, he's so much easier to play. Another thing that people don't know about him is that you can play Namor off edges like this. If you're playing an octopus right here and right here, they can still shoot over. So it's still viable here. Completely overpowered whenever he's not being looked at. If you can't take care of a Namor correctly, he will completely change the game. Usually these guys have high impact because of the damage output. It doesn't look like they're getting that many KOs, but trust me, that damage, if it's ignored, will completely destroy your team. You simply have to shoot at the octopus or else they will kill your entire team. Another thing that people ignore about Namor is this ability. You can hover. Very cool. I wouldn't say that's the most useful, however, I mean, if you're trying to engage in a team fight and you don't want to dive immediately, you're kind of floating down. I don't really think there's that much of a point of it because if there's a Punisher, you're more likely than not going to get farmed down. You're floating in the air slowly. They're very easy to track. That's why I usually just use it in bursts or whatnot. Usually you don't want to continuously use it all the way down. Very rarely you'll see me using that, honestly. But it can be helpful in some instances, you know, like if you're trying to hover somewhere far away. But other than that, it's, you know, it's simple hover ability. Alright, now team-ups wise, I think Namor honestly has one of the strongest team-ups in the game. I don't know if it's, I think it's probably second to Adam Warlock with Star-Lord, but the strongest team-ups with Luna Snow. This team-up just giving him another octopus. Honestly, this raises Namor immensely once you get a third one. It completely decimates people. It's really hard to not use well. If you're using it like these other octopus, you'll do just fine. But in my opinion, it's one of the strongest team-ups in the game. It provides so much higher impact. And having that third octopus just also gives you another way of like utilizing these little guys over here. I mean, come on, 3 of them is honestly insane. But yeah, the team-up's not too crazy, but it definitely has one of the highest impact team-ups.